Okay. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. So remember yesterday, Laban tricked Jacob was the trickster. Remember, he tricked his daddy into giving him the blessing over Esau. And now he's being tricked by Laban. That old adage, what goes around comes around. And so now he had to work 14 years for Rachel instead of just the 7 because he was tricked into marrying the ugly older sister. So Laban figured I'd get rid of the one that probably would never get married and nobody ever wanted. And I'll get 7 more years of free labor. So that was his angle. So now we're picking up.
Give me children or I'll die. Jacob became angry with her and said, Am I in the place of God who has kept you from having children? Then she said, Here is Bilhah, my servant. Sleep with her so that she can bear children for me, and I too can build a family through her.
So remember,
so she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife.
This is tradition.
Jacob slept with her.
Sarah did the same thing with Hagar,
and
her
she
servant.
Became pregnant and bore him a son.
If a woman had a servant, her husband could sleep with her to get her pregnant.
God
and that son would be considered like
he has listened to my plea and given me a son.
The woman's son.
Because of this,
and not the woman's servant's son.
Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel
we're seeing the 12 tribes being born now.
I have had a great struggle with my sister, and I have won. So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children,
So this is kind of not a baby race instead of an arms race.
Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob
Leah
a son.
and Rachel trying to see who can give Jacob the most kids.
What good fortune. So she named him Gad. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, How happy I am. The women will call me happy. So she named him Asher. During wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields.
So now you're seeing, now you know the 12 tribes.
Mandrake plants, which he brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, Please give me some of your son's mandrakes. But she said to her, Wasn't it enough that you took away my husband? Will you take my son's mandrakes too? Very well, Rachel said. He can sleep with you tonight in return for your son's mandrakes.
So remember, he loves
that evening,
Rachel, and he only wants to be with Rachel, so.
You must sleep with me, she said.
Leah's probably not getting a lot of adult attention.
Mandrakes. So he slept with her that night. God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband. So she named him Issachar. Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, God has presented me with a precious
This is the arms race, the baby arms race.
My husband will treat me with honor because I have borne him 6 sons. So she named him Zebulun. Sometime later, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah.
So these names are what they
Then God
represent
remembered
to
Rachel.
them.
He listened to her and enabled her to conceive. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son and said,
I like this
God
background
has
music,
taken away
y'all.
my disgrace. She named him Joseph and said, May the Lord add to me another son. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you.
So now Jacob is like, I've worked for you
if I have found
for all of these
favor in your eyes,
years.
please
Let me have my wife and children and
I have
go.
learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He added, name your wages.
He's basically saying, I went to a sorcerer and found out that the only reason I'm blessed is because you're around me.
Worked for you and how your livestock
So don't go.
fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household?
Says, I
What
need to
shall
go,
I
buddy.
give you? He asked. Don't give me anything, Jacob replied. But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages.
Now Jacob's trying to make a deal. He said, I need to go. You hadn't paid me. I worked for you all these years, and all I got was Rachel, which I love, but I was supposed to work 7 years. You got me for over 14 years.
That is not speckled or spotted.
Let me work something out.
Lamb that is not dark colored will be
where
considered
I can have some money when I leave.
Agreed, said Laban. Let it be as you have said. That same day, he removed all the male
Laban
goats
agrees
that
to
were
the
streaked
deal.
or spotted, and all the speckled
Laban's
or
a
spotted female
sneaky,
goats,
tricky
all
dude.
that had white on them, and all the dark-colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob,
the sheep and
Jacob
goats that would have went to
the rest of Laban's flocks.
Jacob, he basically
Jacob,
took
however, took fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees, and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing.
So even though
the white
Laban's
inner
trying
wood
to
of the
trick him,
branches,
he's already tricked him out of a lot of his life.
then he placed the peeled branches
And he's
in
trying
all
to
the
trick him out of
watering
his
troughs,
money.
so that they would be directly in
But
front of
he's
the
about
flocks
to
when
be
they came
blessed.
to
I
drink.
tell you, when God
the
is
flocks
for
were
you,
in
nobody
heat
can be
and began
against
to
you, y'all.
drink.
God is for you. Nobody
They
can be
made
against
it
you.
in front of the branches, and they bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face the streaked and dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flocks for himself, and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals, so they would mate near the branches.
It's something that God has taught him.
But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban, and the strong ones grew exceedingly prosperous, and came to own large flocks, and female and male servants, and camels and donkeys.
Favor of the Lord. You
Jacob
can't lose with the
that
stuff I
Laban's
use.
sons
That's
were
what
saying, Jacob
old
has taken everything
gospel
our
singer used to
father
tell me.
owned, and has gained all this wealth from what belonged to our father. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had
So now the
been.
sons are mad that Jacob is
Then the Lord said to Jacob,
getting rich.
Go back to the land of your fathers.
They feel
and to
like
your
Jacob's stealing their
relatives,
inheritance.
and I will
Not
be
that
with
they
you.
wouldn't have an inheritance if it wasn't for Jacob. Isn't it funny? They
So
were
Jacob
basically
sent word to Rachel and Leah
didn't have a
to come
lot
out to the
before
fields
Jacob.
where his flocks
Jacob
were.
comes and he's blessed, and now they have a lot.
He said to them,
And now they're saying
I see
Jacob
that your
is
father's attitude toward
taking
me
their
is
inheritance
not what it was before,
because he's making
but
money.
the God
It's
of
funny
my
how people will
father
forget
has been with me.
how blessed they are because of you,
You
because
know
of the
that I
favor of
worked
God
for
on
your
your
father
life.
with all my strength. Yet your
But
father
be humble.
has cheated me by
Be humble.
changing my
Don't get
wages
arrogant. Like
10
you wouldn't have
times.
nothing if it wasn't for me.
However, God
Let
has
God
not
do it.
allowed him to
He's
harm
offended
me.
himself though.
If he said, the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And if he said, the streaked ones will be your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked young. So God has taken away your father's
favor of God.
livestock and has given them to me. In
Come on.
breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that the male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of God said to me in the dream, "Jacob." I answered, "Here I am." And he
Here I am.
said, "Look up and see that all the male goats mating with the flock are streaked, speckled, or spotted. For I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you."
Like, I got you. I see that Laban trying to trick you and Laban
I
trying to
am
get
the
you.
God
Don't
of
worry about
Bethel,
it. God
where you
got your
anointed
back.
a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. Then Rachel and Leah replied, "Do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, but he has used up
So now the
what was
daughters
paid
are speaking
for
up.
us. Surely all the wealth that
Now
God
the
took
daughter's
away
speaking up
from
and
our
says,
father
"You sold
belongs
us.
to us and our children.
This man
So do
has
whatever God
come
has told
and
you."
worked for 14 years for us. So he sold us through a man's
Then
labor.
Jacob put his children
And now you
and
don't
his
want to give
wives
us any
on
inheritance. The
camels,
stuff that would go to our husband, you trying to take away.
and he drove all his livestock ahead of him.
So he's not just
along
messing
with
over
all
his
the
son, he's
goods
messing
he had
over his
accumulated
daughters.
in
Or his son-in-law, he's messing over
to
his
go
daughters.
to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan.
But now Jacob bouncing. He's leaving.
When Laban had gone
Taking
to
his
shear
stuff and
his sheep,
taking his toys and
Rachel
leaving.
stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean by not telling him he was running away. So he fled with all he had.
So he's
crossed
like,
the
he's
Euphrates
bouncing. He's
River,
like, I'm not
and
telling them
headed
that
for
we
the hill
out.
country of Gilead. On the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. Taking his relatives with him, he pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. Then God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream at night and said to him, "Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad." Jacob had pitched his tent.
So
in the hill
God
country
came to
of
Laban and
Gilead
said,
when
don't you
Laban
dare
overtook
threaten
him, and Laban and his relatives
Jacob
camped
or
there
try to
too.
bribe him or anything. Don't tell him anything good or bad.
Then
This
Laban
issue is
said to
dead.
Jacob,
Jacob
"What
is
have you
leaving.
done? You've deceived me, and you've carried
Gotta
off my
defend you.
daughters like captives in war. Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of timbrels and harps? You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish thing." Harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, "Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad." Now you have gone off because you longed to return to your father's household. But why did you steal my gods? Jacob answered Laban, "I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find anyone who has your gods, that person shall not live. In the presence of our relatives, see for yourself whether there is anything of yours here with me, and if so, take it."
Says,
Now
I
Jacob did
worship
not know
the one
that
true God.
Rachel
I'm not
had
taking your
stolen the
household
gods.
idols and gods and figurines
So
to
Laban went
worship
into
him. He says,
Jacob's
you come, you
tent
search
and into
every
Leah's tent
body in my
and
camp,
into the tent of the
my
2
family,
female
my children,
servants,
my
but he found
employees.
nothing.
And
After
if
he
you
came out of
find them,
Leah's tent, he entered Rachel's tent.
I'll kill them. They won't live.
Now Rachel had taken the household gods and put them inside her camel's saddle and was sitting on them. Laban searched through everything in the tent, but found nothing. Rachel said to her father, "Don't be angry, my lord, that I cannot stand up in your presence. I'm having my period." So he searched, but could not find the household gods.
Now she not telling the truth. She's being dishonest.
And took Laban to task.
And that's his boo.
"What is my crime?" he asked Laban. "How have I wronged you that you hunt me down?"
Single people, make sure you marry the right person. They can make your life heaven. They can make
Now
it
that you have searched through
the
all
opposite
my
of heaven.
goods, what have you found?
Now he
belongs
loved
to your
Rachel. She just
household?
made a mistake.
Put it
But
here in front of your relatives and mine.
make sure you
and
marry
let
up.
them judge between
Marry
the
someone
two
that
of us.
works harder than you, that loves God more than you, that serves. Marry up.
I have been with
Don't
you
marry
for 20
down.
years now. Your sheep and goats have not miscarried.
A
nor
lot
have I
of
eaten
marriage
rams
problems
from
come
your
from
flocks.
marrying down. Someone married down.
I did not bring you
And they're
animals
a
torn
go-getter
by
and
wild
ready to get
beasts.
it. And then that
I bore
other
the
person
loss
is
myself, and you demanded
not as
payment
ambitious.
from me for whatever was stolen
And the
by
mismatch
day or night.
It's painful. That's why God
This
says marry
was my
somebody that's equally
situation.
yoked.
The heat consumed me in the daytime, and the cold at night.
There's
and
the music
sleep
again.
fled from my eyes. It was like this for the 20 years I was in your household. I worked for you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flocks, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been with me,
He says, I had to work
you
for
would
my
surely have
wives.
sent
I had to
me
work
away
years for my
empty-handed.
flocks.
But God has seen my hardship
I worked
and the toil
decades.
of my hands. And last night he rebuked you.
Over a decade for my wives and for my flocks.
Laban answered Jacob, "The women
So
are
I don't
my
owe
daughters,
you anything.
the children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. Yet what can I do today about these daughters of mine, or about the children they have borne? Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us." So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. He said to his relatives, "Gather some stones." So they took stones and piled them in a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, and Jacob called it Galeed. Laban said, "This heap is a witness between you and me today." That is why it was called Galeed.
So they're making an altar.
It was also
And
called
they're making a
Mizpah, because he said,
covenant.
"May the Lord keep watch between
Back
you
then
and
you'd
me
have a
when we are
covenant
away
with
from each
witnesses.
other.
And if somebody broke that
If
covenant,
you
normally somebody
mistreat
had to
my
die.
daughters, or if you take any wives besides my daughters, even though no one is with us, remember that God is a witness between you and me." Laban also said to Jacob, "Here is this heap, and here is this pillar I have
Say,
set up
don't be taking
between
any other
you and me.
wives.
This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I will not go past this heap to your side to harm you, and that you will not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God
So it's
of
a
their
covenant
father,
saying, hey,
judge
you
between
don't
us."
come on my side
So
with any
Jacob
drama.
took
I'm not
an
going to come
oath
on your
in the
side
name
with
of
any
the fear
drama.
of his father
And God
Isaac.
can judge between us.
He offered a sacrifice there in the hill country
It's
and
like,
invited his relatives
can I get a
to
witness?
meal. After they had eaten, they spent
yeah.
the night there.
They set up those altars
Early
and
the
they ain't
next
going
morning,
nowhere.
Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left and returned home.
All of them. All them grandchildren. Whew.
Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, This is the camp of God. So he named that place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother
Mahanaim.
Esau in the land of Seir,
Probably
the country
means camp of
Edom.
God.
He instructed them, "This is what you are to say, Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have
So
remained there
Edom
till
or
now.
Edomites, it means red, and it comes from Esau.
I have cattle and donkeys,
Remember, he traded
sheep
his
and goats, male and female
birthright
servants.
given by
Now I am
God through
sending
Abraham
this message to my
for
Lord,
red stew,
that I
and
may
he kind of
find
got that
favor
name. He
in
also
your
had
eyes."
red hair.
When
So
the messengers
Edomites
returned to
basically
Jacob,
be
they
reds,
said, "We went
fighting
to your
reds.
brother Esau, and
So now
he is coming to meet
when he
you,
left,
and
he
400
was running
men
away
are
from
with
his
him."
brother, so that he didn't kill him for stealing his
In great
birthright,
fear
tricking
and
his
distress,
their dad,
Jacob divided the
Isaac,
people who were with
from
him
stealing his
into two
birthright,
groups, and the
to
flocks
steal
and
his
herds and
birthright.
camels
So now
as well.
Esau is coming to meet him, and he think Esau wants to kill
He
him,
thought,
because last time he
if
met
Esau
him,
comes and
roughly
attacks
20 years
one
ago, he
group,
wanted to kill
the
him.
group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my
Dividing
father
up his
Abraham,
family and
God of my father
land
Isaac,
and money.
Lord, you who
That way, if
said
they
to
attack
me,
one group,
Go
they might
back
all
to your
die, but at least
country and
half will
relatives,
get away."
and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys.
So what is he doing?
He put them in the care of his
Called
servants,
buttering
each
him
herd
up.
by itself, and said to his servants, "Go
He's
ahead of
trying to
me
butter up his
and
brother
keep
so he
some
doesn't
space
kill him for
between the
stealing his
herds."
birthright.
He instructed the one in the lead, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'Who do you belong to, and where are you going, and who owns all these animals in front of you?' Then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us.'" He also instructed the second, the third, and all the others who followed the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him. And be sure to say, "Your servant Jacob is coming behind us." For he thought, "I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me." So Jacob's
Pacifying.
gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives,
So he's sending
his
all
2
of
female
these
servants,
gifts,
and his 11
waves of
sons,
gifts
and
ahead of
crossed the
him,
ford of the
hoping that by
Jabbok.
the time Esau gets to him,
After he had sent
he's
them
forgiven
across
him.
the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till
So you're hiding the
daybreak.
rest of his stuff on the other side of the water.
When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans.
So God
and have
changes his name.
overcome. Jacob said,
So I believe that this
"Please
was
tell me your
a
name."
dream
But he replied,
where
"Why
he's
do
saying you
ask my
struggled
name?" Then he
with
blessed
God,
him
maybe
there.
with your faith. And you struggle with
So Jacob
Laban,
called
you
the
struggle
place
with Esau.
Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Jacob looked up.
All right. So that is 32. That is 30 to 32. Day 10. Hope you enjoyed it. This was really, really good. So much drama. The wives stealing the gods of the father, the Laban trying to come and smoke, bring that smoke to Jacob, even though Jacob was the reason that he has all the money and the blessing, is because Jacob worked for him for roughly 2 decades, 20 years, for both daughters and for his wages. So he wasn't getting paid for the 14 years because the wives were the wages, even though he only wanted one wife. So he got tricked pretty bad. But God was with Jacob. Even though Jacob tricked Esau, God forgave him, loved him, and was with him. And the promise of Abraham went to Isaac and through Isaac to Jacob. Just goes to show, just because you mess up doesn't mean that God isn't with you. All right, I love you, and see you tomorrow.